Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. It's about that time. Let's go take that walk and see what's in the fridge today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today, I do appreciate you stopping by. Today's beer comes from Singlecut Beersmiths. These guys are in New York. This is their Nexus of the Crisis. And this is an American Imperial Stout coming in at 11%. This was sent to me by my brother Rico. And he writes, 11% Imperial Stout with 66 IBUs. This is basically their Heavy Boots of Lead Imperial Stout, blended with a fresh kiln barrel aged coffee beans. It was around $10 at the store. The date is on the front. It's hard to see, so he put a blue sticker on it pointing towards the date. Bottle on date is 11/15/18. The name of the beer is taken from the Blue Oyster Cult song Astronomy. I haven't had anything single cut in a while. I did get a bunch of those sent to me before. Probably from Rico or maybe some other guys up there in that neck of the woods. I find their beers are very tasty. So I'm expecting no less from this. I did enjoy the Heavy Boots of Lead. I had several different variations of that beer. This is not a barrel aged beer, but according to what I am reading, especially over on Untapped, it says, how do you take your coffee? This starts with our Heavy Boots of Lead Imperial Stout, blended with the same thing that Rico said, kiln barrel aged coffee beans. And yes, it is as heavenly as it sounds. So this is probably one you'd want to drink fresh and not cellar. Another reason I used to put some of these bigger beers that were sent to me from Rico and other subscribers back in the closet, since they were big beers like this. But the coffee notes fade, and I'm not doing so much of that putting away beers anymore. Trying to drink them fresh, especially the coffee styles of this style. So basically we got the ABV of 11 and the IBUs of 66, and we got the date of 11/15 of 18, which was November. So here we are at the end of April. Doesn't take our rocket science to figure it out. It's almost 6 months old, or around 6 months old approximately. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm sure it's going to be a tasty beer. And this is just a little bit bigger bottle than your typical 12 ouncer. I didn't look at the size. Maybe a 500 milliliter. So that is all we need to talk about. So let's stop talking and start pouring. Nice hiss, a little bit of smoke. Into the glass we go. 11%er, since we're going to go right down the center on this. Very black coming out of the bottle. Very reminiscent of what an Imperial Stout should and usually looks like. Not always, but usually. About a finger and a half of head on that aggressive pour. Good looking beer. What you think? Good looking stout. Nice khaki colored head, a lot of tight bubbles around the inside, some bigger bubbles on the center from that aggressive pour, very creamy looking. And over to the light, there is none, guys. It is pitch black. Good looking stout. To the nose we go. Rich roasted malt, slight hint of some molasses and bittersweet chocolate. Got a nice sweetness to the back end. It doesn't smell bitter. It's not big IBUs for an 11% stout, the 66. There are IPAs and even pale ales that have that much IBUs. Not getting a whole lot of dark fruit or anything now that it's cold out of the fridge, but those may come out a little more once it warms up. But the big roasted malt notes, hints of coffee, and molasses are standing out pretty much on the nose right now. So let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Very nice. Nice coffee aroma. Coffee's not off the chain like some of them are, but it's definitely there. Roasted malt, molasses, slight hint of some bittersweet chocolate. The roasted malt and the coffee and the molasses is standing out more to me right now, cold out of the fridge. That is one tasty beer, guys. That is very, very tasty. A great final beer of the evening for what it is for me. Let's get the back end pour out of this bottle. And we're going to get everything out of that bottle in case there's any kind of settling going on. Awesome looking beer. Awesome. Awesome tasting beer too. Don't know if it's quite world class or outstanding. Pretty impressive. I don't know if they do any other variations of this beer, whether they do a barrel-aged version of it or not. That would probably be the only thing that I would suggest, and they may do it to make this beer just a little better, get some of those bourbon notes in there, but for what it is, it's not claiming to be a barrel-aged version or bourbon barrel. It's very tasty for an 11% Imperial Stout. I've had better ones that have had a little more coffee notes to them, espresso, Sumatra coffee, but it's there. It's there. It's not. It's kind of balanced with that. It's not overpowering any other taste. It's very pleasant though. So let's let this one warm up to room temperature like we always do, and we'll come back and see where it falls in on the grate. All right, guys, I'm back. Been sipping on a while now. Very tasty. I'm a little disappointed that the coffee notes aren't more prominent than they are. It is still a very tasty beer. The alcohol is super well hidden for an 11%er. Nice roasted malt notes. Not getting a lot of dark fruit or anything on this one, but the bittersweet chocolate and molasses is there. Very tasty. It's not claiming to be a bourbon barrel or a barrel-aged beer. I do think it's well made. Like I said, very easy drinking for an 11%er. Nice malt characteristics to it. The coffee is there, but it's not off the chain. That's probably where they want it to be. They didn't want the coffee overpowering anything else. But I like to taste a little bit more when it is claiming to be brewed with coffee. I want to taste those notes just like I do bourbon barrel notes. So I find it very enjoyable, well-made beer. I do think it's an A beer, but I don't think it's a world-class beer. A great final beer of the evening for me, and I don't know how much the coffee notes is going to fade if you try to cellar this beer. But they're there now, even though it's a November bottled edition. Probably would have had a little bit bigger notes in November or December than I'm getting right now here at the end of April, almost the 1st of May. Today's the 30th, the last day of the month in April. But still very enjoyable. And it's not a cheap beer at $10 a pop. Tasty beer. Final chug. Very nice. Very, very nice beer. Especially since the alcohol is so well hidden for 11%er. A lot of breweries struggle with that aspect when they get into these bigger beers, and this one is very well hidden. Very nice. A- for me, guys. 92 is where I'm going to put this. I would like to see a little bit more of the coffee notes in this beer, but like I said, those coffee notes fade over time. So it probably had a little more coffee notes in it in November than in December than it does now here, almost in May. So with that being said, 92 for me, guys. A-. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 4.18, and that is also in their A-, and they say it's exceptional. And final check-in, we go over to Untapped. They have it at 4.08, also in their A- scale. So it's unanimous. It's an A- beer. Very tasty beer. Not sure I would spend $10 for one of these, but If it was a little fresher, might want to try to pick that up and see if I get more of the coffee notes than what I'm getting right now, with the beer being approximately 6 months old. So, with that being said, if you've had the Nexus of the Crisis from Singlecut Beersmiths, let me know what you think, especially if you've had this edition that was done in November. Tasty beer, guys. But like I said, it's a little on the pricey side, not getting the coffee notes that I was hoping for, but still very tasty, well-made beer. So, if you've had it, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.